Hello, hello, hello. This is Mireille Tulekima. If you don't know me by then, I'm the Greatness Engineer and I'm the host of the Greatness Engineering Hour Show. So, welcome to another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour Show, a show where I bring you exceptional knowledge, I bring you champion, I bring you trailblazer, I bring you thought leaders. And today, again, I'm bringing you a champion and we're going to Malaysia this time. And from the US at the beginning of the week to Malaysia, it's just a great trip. And I know that we're going to learn so much from my guest today. And I really, encourage you to get your pen, paper, and write down everything that you're gonna hear today because it's gonna be great knowledge. And we're gonna talk about, e-learning because it's actually of actuality because with COVID and the pandemic, a lot of people have resorted to the internet, and a lot of things have been done online, and it especially learning. So. My guest today is Rani Wemel, and she's been in the e-learning industry for quite some time. So I must say she's a visionary because when she started it, nobody really, was there and was really giving it a chance. So she'll get the opportunity to tell us exactly how she started. She's a global pioneer in mobile learning and learning experience portals. She's the co-founder with her husband of LTT Global and also the founder of My Mobile University and Array Today University. She is well known in Asia, so a very prominent businesswoman. She has had several awards as Asia CEO Community Inspirational Female Business Leaders. She's been in the, Outstanding Woman Entrepreneur National Award for impacting life through digital learning. And so many award and recognition. And I'm not gonna be the one, digging into her experience. I'm gonna bring her so she can introduce herself because she's done so much, and I know that we're going to learn so much from her today. So don't go anywhere. Get ready. Start watch parties. Have your pen, have your paper, have anything. You can also have your coffee next to you or your water. We're going to start, this conversation on e-learning, and we're gonna specifically talk about the necessity of lifelong learning, because it's no longer an option, it's a must, if you want to stay relevant and competitive in today's globalized digital knowledge based economy. So don't go anywhere. I'm bringing Rani with me.
Labels, right?
On memories. But as I got older, I started to be more aware of some of the abusive sides of
So good. Sorry for that. So good. Good evening, Rani, because we are all in the same time zone. Good evening. Welcome to the Greatness Engineering Hour show. It's my pleasure to have you. Like I was saying, before we start the show, it's been so long since we've been able to have a conversation, and I really want to know what's going on, on your side, and how you've been able to grow this university that you started so long ago, and the business, in the digital industry. So before we get to this point, I want you to introduce yourself to the audience. Let us know who you are and how you actually, from the vision that you had, how you actually managed to be where you are right now.
Sure, sure. Thank you, first of all, for having me on your show. I'm really, really honored. And congratulations also for your recent awards. You're
Thank you
getting
very
some
much.
really awesome awards. Congratulations. So, how I started is I used to teach law previously. And in the year 2000, I actually resigned because I wanted to spend more time with my children. And while they went to school, in the afternoons, I used to be quite free, and internet was just starting in Malaysia at that time. So I was introduced to a company that used to sell seminars. So I used to do e-learning at that time. And from my dining table, I just marketed, and I used to earn quite well. So that was my hobby, because from being a lecturer, I got into something that's also education. So I was quite happy. But in the year 2003, my husband, he saw an article, and he told me, why are you doing e-learning? You should be doing m-learning, because there are more mobile phones than computers. And that statement sort of like, kept haunting me again and again. It was sort of like intriguing, actually. So I said, really? But how people going to learn on the phone? Computer, it's fine. The monitor screen, it's comfortable. So then I just saw an article in the paper also that stated that, English is important, and people should focus on learning English language. And I thought maybe I can do something using the SMS platform on the black and white Nokia, because that's the phone that we had at that time.
Exactly, yeah.
So I just toyed around, and I created a simple, a word, and then how to pronounce the word, and create sample sentences, all within 160 characters. And I sent it to my helper, and I asked her to actually read it and write it down and use it. And tomorrow I will send you another word. And for 30 days, sort of we did this, and I asked her, how is it? And she's really bagus, ibu meaning mom. So I said, wow, really? So we ventured. I sort of used the local language to handhold people, so that they're not, worried to learn the language. But I also had intermediate, where I used less of the local language, and advanced, where everything is in English, but you want to just empower yourself further. And I took it to the telcos to actually ask them if they would consider. But, at that time, telcos were not interested as well, because it was so new, and they can't figure it out as well. And people actually were willing to pay for ringtones and wallpapers and games. At that time, that was the trend. So that didn't work out with the telcos. And they asked me such a weird question. They said, do you have a certificate for your English program? And we were like, what? Because it's just conversational English that we created, right? But coincidentally, though it didn't work out with the telcos, we managed to actually convince the banks in Malaysia, because the banks were actually starting internet banking, and they were looking for services that can be purchased by people over the internet, the customers, so that they can pay using the internet. And we had a good partnership with 4 banks in Malaysia. So they actually gave us the break that we wanted, so so people actually did subscribe, and we had quite a good following. And the wonderful part is, we had people from different levels actually using this program on the SMS platform. So we had people who really didn't know how to speak English, who were like factory workers and things like that, who used this, and they actually sent me messages saying, thank you. If it was not for you, I don't think so I would ever learn English, but now I can start saying a little bit. And so that was very heartwarming. And a wonderful thing happened is we had one of the students who actually subscribed by himself in a different state of Malaysia for his O-level exam, and he scored A1. So he sent me a thank you message, and he subscribed my service through one of the internet service providers in Malaysia. And they got excited because they had a story now, about somebody who had subscribed, and they had a presentation ceremony for him. And we got the title of preferred learning partner with the internet service provider. So that was good. Yeah. And I still keep in touch with him. He's already a doctor now.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I can imagine the experience that, he had, to have all this publicity around him. That was magnificent. And even for you starting in the business to have, all this support, it must have been really,
all these success stories actually helped us to, gave us more strength, because, starting something new and people not ready. When I used to give name card, people used to say, mobile learning, are you sure you can learn on the phone? It's like, and we had to explain yes and all that. But today, actually, they ask you, oh, what can I learn? So I know that there's light at the end of the tunnel finally.
And that's the key thing to remember, when you start something new, is that you're gonna have challenges at the beginning because people are scared, or they're not interested to go into things that they don't understand. So, but you have to keep pushing, keep going until they understand the value of it, and that's the key important thing. So, I mean, what have been the obviously you talked about some of the challenge, but what have been really the key thing for you to be able to make it to the market? I mean, you had this support, but then you have to expand, because right now it's kind of a big big venture in Malaysia. So what did you do to be able to expand to the level that you are right now?
Okay, so sending these SMSs, people actually started to ask me, is there anything else I could offer, because they have to wait like one day for the next lesson to come. So I started to curate quality learning English language content from the internet, and I developed a portal, and I used to complement what they receive from the SMS to actually allow them to explore English language at their own time, and go and play games, or do grammar or tests or read. So this actually was very good, because now they had the thing on the mobile. At the same time, they would be able to learn more using the internet. So that way I became even more successful, because even corporations used to use my program to help empower their workforce for English language. And subsequently in 2013, we launched a service called My Mobile University, where we started to curate not only English language content, but all other content. Because my husband, Dr. Wemel, he actually said, that there's lots of people who are out there who are unemployed, retrenched, and even people who go on sick leave, long sick leaves, and then when they come back, they're not able to get back into the system. So why not we offer, because you are already finding these things, and why not go beyond English language? So we actually found lots of content, and we categorized it, and we launched a portal called My Mobile University, and we offered it for free to the world, as part of our CSR. Okay, so that was good, because what happened is, we got invited to the BATS in UK to present. At the same time, we were invited to India and many places to speak about this, because it was really good. We had subscribers from 60 different countries who use this. We had lots of people who wanted to be our ambassadors, and when they found free content or quality learning content that's public use, they shared it with us. It was like a community that was helping me to build this. So, but as much as it was growing and great, a lot of money was going out in traveling and everything. So it was not a good business model. So what we did, we pivoted. So what we still have My Mobile University and impact projects, and we do it for free. But we also charge a nominal sum for anybody else who uses this to upskill or reskill themselves. And we use that fund to actually help us to impact lives of women, refugees, special needs, different communities who have different needs. We support a lot of communities as well. So our tagline is, when you empower yourself, you help us to empower another as well.
And that's the most important thing, because sometimes we only look at money, but money will comes later. You have to give and empower people so that they can also give back at a certain point, and that's what we sometimes forget. So let's have a short break, and then we'll come back, continue our conversation on digital learning, and learn a little bit more about what you do and how you manage to get where you are.
Hi, my name is Rani Wemel. I'm the co-founder of LTT Global Communications. We started in 2004. We are a global pioneer in mobile learning, and our vision is to make learning accessible and affordable. And University, which is a global initiative to impact lives through education. We have catered for all ages, from the ages as young as 2 years old till the end of your life. You can learn anything that you want. We cover academic, we cover lifestyle, we cover professional development, we cover languages, we cover IT, we cover engineering, and all of this is from the world's best organizations or universities. And I'm very happy to tell you that, globally, My Mobile University is used by individuals, by NGOs who use it to empower women, youth, children, and it's a great platform. Every day you must learn something so that you empower yourself. With globalization, if you are not equipped with knowledge, other people will just overtake you. So no matter what you are doing in life today, always upskill yourself and keep yourself competitive. Recently, my company also was selected by the Ministry of Finance Malaysia to do a similar platform like My Mobile University, and it is called ilmu.mobi. Ilmu actually means instilling learning for Malaysian unity. So, and if you have a NGO, or if you're a company, or if you're anybody who wants to impact lives together, just contact me. Let us impact lives together and empower yourself too. Thank you.
So we are back with Rani, and Rani is, she's into the digital world. She started from the very beginning when nobody really wanted to use a product, and now she's impacting the world with what, the different projects that she's doing. And one question that I have, Rani, is, how do you impact the world? Because you talk a lot about impacting the world. I mean, what are the people that you work with, and do you have partners? How does it work?
What I do is, Mirel, I actually power the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 4, which actually talks about making quality learning accessible and affordable. Talks about inclusive learning, which means nobody is left behind. And thirdly is to encourage lifelong learning so that everybody is future ready. So when I do impact projects, I look at communities that actually are not able to afford, so that we can actually, do projects. So I have done projects like with refugee communities, In fact, we had a group of students in Egypt who used to use my platform to empower Syrian refugees few years ago when they started to come into Egypt, and they were in the camps, and they actually used it to help them pick up some English language. They also taught them some IT so that when they get relocated, they'll be able to find jobs, things like that. We also did with a special needs community where people with disability, like Microsoft Malaysia, they had a portal called Empowered. So we did the learning part where we gave them the learning portal. And what Microsoft Malaysia does is they give this portal out to disabled people with special needs. And when they finish picking up a skill or anything, they actually communicate with Microsoft Malaysia and they get placed in jobs with companies, or they can do entrepreneurship. So Microsoft Malaysia is the first in ASEAN to actually do a project like this. So in this way, we impacted lives. We also have community of blind people who use or visually impaired who use this portal, and they use the online courses. They read they not read, but they have a reader on their computer which actually reads the books that we have online for them. They listen to the videos, so they also empower themselves using the platform. So we have many communities that come to us. We even have like entrepreneurs who come to us and they say that they would like a particular kind of channels in the portal, and we develop it for them. So that's how we impact lives. We look at anybody who has a project and we work with them to, like my most recent project is with Kiwanis. If you have heard of Kiwanis?
No, I've never went.
Okay, Kiwanis is actually a community of people. It started off in the US, and they actually help children with autism, with Down syndrome, with our tagline is "Children loves Kiwanis," because we do a lot of projects to help children with special needs. So the most recent project when I did with them is they use our portal not only to help Kiwanis members globally to do lifelong learning, but they also, I give out free for their centers for them to use it to help the children. But also they use it as a fundraising activity by getting subscribers to the Kiwanis customized portal, and we do revenue share. So it also becomes a fundraising activity for Kiwanis Malaysia. So these the ways that I work with them. So we can do fundraising activities. We do impact projects. For corporates, we do actually normal sales, because from that is how we are able to empower the less fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. That's really impressive, especially working with those community who actually don't have a voice and don't have, a way to do anything if they use the traditional way, if we do it the traditional way. And that's really important. And answer my question, how do you think digital is is actually positioning itself right now? Do you think it's something that's actually gonna continue to make a difference? And how do you see it evolving as far as when you see how things are going in your industry?
I must say that with COVID-19, it was sort of a blessing for anybody in the e-learning industry, because for the last 20 years, many people have started e-learning, and they were trying to actually get the attention of the community, but people are stuck with the traditional form of learning and training, and they just don't see the value that digital learning brings to them, and the flexibility that it brings to them, the consistency of training that it brings to them. Because like if you go for a normal training, right, and you send batches of workforce day 1, day 2, day 3, they may have gone for the same training, but what they receive would have been different kinds of training, depending on the trainer, the trainer's mood, and the words shared. But if with digital learning, you just record the best, and then all employees nationwide or global will have access to the same kind of training. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that way, you know that, you're giving best to every single staff,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
digital learning is actually something that can help companies save money, save time, give quality learning and flexibility to their workforce, so that everybody has an opportunity to learn. And it also allows an organization to transfer the responsibility of learning to the employee, because
Mm-hmm.
now they have given them the tools, and nobody can say that they don't have an opportunity to learn, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this way, everybody has to be responsible in their own self education. With today's industry 4.0, the emerging trends, and
Mm-hmm.
all these things, it's moving too fast. First is the acceleration of technology. Everything is changing, and people are also having a hard time keeping up. And then you've
Mm-hmm.
got digitalization of technology. Companies are embracing technology, and some staffs are not able to cope, things like that. And then you've got automation and robotics. So all
Mm-hmm.
these things have like come together, and if you don't keep up with them, you're definitely going to not grow. And that's why lifelong learning is very, very important, because
Mm-hmm.
with lifelong learning, you actually evolve. In fact, the World Economic Forum stated that from 2020, people have to spend 101 days of learning, and no
Wow.
company can give them 101 days of learning, right?
Yeah.
But with digital learning, they can, and
Mm-hmm.
they can give them the best, because
Mm-hmm.
now money and time is no longer an issue, because when you have it online or digital, you allow the staff to do it at their own time. Even
Mm-hmm.
if they spend 10 minutes a day, they still would have learned something and know more than what they knew yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
So that's
And
the, yeah, please.
and that's the key, because I think sometimes, especially when we start to talk about technical knowledge, it's expensive, when you have to go live and do a degree, or even a short course. It's really expensive. So bringing it online and at a cheaper price, and then also having the flexibility, it's just so convenient and so good. and uh,
Yes.
and and I think that's what we need to focus on. But I mean, what do you think are gonna be key for the digital area to really make an impact? Because like you said, you had, now we're talking about automation, we're talking about lots of new things. So which mean that, in, I don't know, in 10 years, maybe the jobs that's gonna actually happen in 10 years are not here yet. So how do you adapt, your learning to that?
Okay. So what we are looking at is actually future jobs and people not having the right skill sets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the right skill sets is both hard skills, that means like technical skills, as
Mm-hmm.
well as soft skills.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things they say that robots don't have yet, and you're still safe with your
Mm-hmm.
job, is because as a human, you have the soft skills,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So critical thinking, emotional intelligence, uh, um, what else? Problem solving.
Solving,
All,
yeah.
all these are skill sets that companies still need.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing skills, right? So these are the soft skills that you can work on, and you can grow and
Mm-hmm.
become a specialist. But at the same time, you must be able to actually embrace technology. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, not everybody is going to become an AI scientist or a big data scientist. Of course, if you're in university and you've gone and you're doing that, you have to go deeper into those areas. But
Mm-hmm.
everybody has to understand what is AI, how it's applied. This kind of knowledge is available, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody must know what's AI, what's big data, how big data affects businesses, and how Internet of Things works, because
Mm-hmm.
all this is part of the digital transformation. And when
Mm-hmm.
we talk
Mm-hmm.
about digital transformations, there's like 9 pillars, with augmented reality, with 3D printing, with autonomous communication. All these different things make up the digital transformation. So whether you are an executive or a senior manager or a director, you must understand, so that when a vendor comes and tells you about this is good for your company and all, you can make an informed decision if you understand what it's all about. Right?
And I think that's going to be the challenge, especially at the top, because so far, all the technical work is always done, at the bottom. So now you're telling me, people at the top need to at least understand, what's going on. So as an entrepreneur, you need to know exactly, at least the basic. And I think that and I think that's going to be the challenge. And I wanted to ask you, even if to continue in the same trend, is as entrepreneur, what how do we how do we follow, because it goes really fast? How do we cope with all of this? And any strategy that you are aware of, or anything that you can recommend?
Yeah, sure. That's why we talk about lifelong learning, right? Because every day you have to pick up things. And I know that many people, just in the last 90 days, they picked up a lot of things that they didn't even imagine that they will ever use in their work life or in their normal life. Like working, everybody became Zoom expert, and until there was even this thing as Zoom fatigue. They were too tired because of so many meetings. They worked harder at home than I think when they were at the office. And people started to order food, using the phone, things like that. A lot of things became, they did shopping online because they couldn't leave their house. So these are all things that everybody must know. And like, if you're an entrepreneur, like, you must know how, like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and all those days, as bosses, we always had people who will actually do all these reports and everything. But knowing how to do it is important, because in case, you were in a position and nobody was around, you are able to do your Word, your PowerPoint, your Excel. Even if you had need to do a simple video, there's so many things on the internet now that, you can actually use, and it's very simple, and it actually will make your work much easier. And digitalization is all about actually the processes and how to actually become better, empower yourself, make you more efficient. That's what digitalization is all about. It's nothing to be scared about, because at the end of the day, it's actually making you a better person. All the other works, like repetitive work, factory work, they're all taken over by robots. But things like non-repetitive work and more of critical thinking and all, it's all well and alive, and it's up to us to move up. As long as we move up, we will always remain wanted and always in demand.
And because obviously you understand all of this, but there's still the traditional system, education system. How do you work with them, or is it something that you've not really started yet? Because there's basically they're not aligned. There's a lot of things that they're still doing in traditional schools that actually not fitted for what's going on right now. A lot of the kids, I'm actually sorry for the kids, they
It's
don't
so
get the
true.
right skills to be able to compete in
So
the
true.
world that you just defined. So do you work with them, or is it just something you how does it work for you there?
I do work with universities now. And like what you said, everybody actually, when you say, lifelong learning, you have to learn. Some people just don't like the word learning, because I've already learned, I've got a degree, right? But the degree that they got is not what the industry wants. Because the industry has moved so much. Even like somebody in the university now, when they step out, they're already outdated, because what the industry needs is not what they have. And also the level of, normal digital literacy, like, having to do Word, PowerPoint, a project paper. These are skill sets also not well inculcated in students. But all these are very, very important if you want a job. So why we say there's so many people unemployed? It's not that they can't be employed. It's just that they don't have what the industry needs. So what we do, we work with universities where they actually use our portal as a value add for students and teachers. How they help teachers or lecturers is because now the lecturers can see what is the latest and use this in class itself and provide the students, because in the past, whatever that they're teaching is past knowledge. It's not current knowledge that's needed. So with our portal, they actually help the lecturers to have resources. It also helps the lecturers to do professional development for their own self, so that they also move up the rank, and the universities also move up the rank. And for the students use it to actually do their own homework and projects and all. But they also go and pick up new skill sets and enhance their CV to show that they are relevant and they can do what the industry is asking for. So in that way, my portal actually is a value add for universities. It helps them,
Yeah, and that's good, because I mean, I've seen it different countries where, you know, it's not at all aligned. I mean, they're still they don't actually teach them problem solving skills. They're still into being a doctor, being a traditional doctor or lawyer or whatever, and then they have all those degrees, and they can't find a job because then it's not adapted to the reality, and it's actually quite sad for the parents, because we spend so much money sending our kids to the so-called best universities, and then they come back, they can't have a job. So it's been a problem for a lot of countries to really start to now align with the market and understand really what are the needs, and make sure that, you know, university are actually picking up the new skills. So we're going to have another break, and we'll come back. Very interesting conversation, and I think to the point, because as everybody knows, we are in the fourth industrial revolution, and there's a lot going on. So we need, like you said, to have this ability to learn all the time, because otherwise we're going to be left behind. So let's have a break, and we'll be back in few minutes.
Sure. Thank you.
So we are back. We are back with Rani, and we are in the world of digital. So it's been a really interesting conversation to understand, really well that what are the skills that we need, and understand that we need to be able to be flexible and learn all the time because things are changing and they're changing very fast. So long life learning is really now it has to be a norm. So I wanted to ask you, Rani, is now we've had COVID, and like you said, it's been a very good, a very good time, especially to promote, learning, e-learning. How do you think it's gonna evolve for you? How it's gonna be the after COVID? Because do you think that you're gonna still be in this very good environment, or do you see things changing?
Actually, it's. I think things will get better.
Mm-hmm.
The past 17 years, it has been really, really challenging. But
Mm-hmm.
during COVID, somehow or rather, everything seems to fall into place because, like I said earlier, people started to embrace technology by force.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people have begun to understand how to use technology and the flexibility of technology, the convenience of technology. And wonderful thing is also the infrastructure has got better in many, many countries.
Mm-hmm.
So you're even able to get internet over the phone now. So, which even if you don't have normal internet, you still
Mm-hmm.
can access the world through your
Mm-hmm.
phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
also devices have become more less expensive. Devices have become more uh, better, right?
Mm-hmm.
More user
Mm-hmm.
friendly, right? And screen sizes also have got better with mobile phones. And most importantly is the mindset. People
Mm-hmm.
are now ready, right? So, in fact, I see digital learning actually not only helping individuals, helping workforce, strengthening communities, because it doesn't mean that if that place there's no proper
Mm-hmm.
connectivity, just if I can go back in time, you remember Nepal had an earthquake
Mm-hmm.
many years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
they actually approached me, and we empowered learning there because the schools were unsafe, and
Mm-hmm.
this Nepal Friendship Society actually didn't want the children not to miss classes or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So they had, like, in one of the teachers' homes used where they have internet, and
Mm-hmm.
they brought the children there. And although there's just one computer and one screen, but many children got the benefit of exposing themselves to all the maths and science and that was being taught, and they were entertained, and it was a good way not to, like, waste the time when they waited for schools to be built, where
Mm-hmm.
education continued, right? So
Mm-hmm.
even in communities where the internet is difficult or what, we will definitely find ways, and there's things that's always improving. So
Mm-hmm.
digital learning is beyond boundaries. It's going to impact lives. It will help communities change.
Mm-hmm.
Lifestyle also will change. People will be able to,
Mm-hmm.
get better education access no matter where they are. You can get a Harvard degree just sitting anywhere now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not degree, but certificate courses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
education is very accessible now. It's just the individual has to put their mind to it and understand that learning is the one that's going to just take them to greater heights in their career. And with that, I'm sure that they will achieve anything that they want. It's the
Mm-hmm.
willingness, because, like, if it is to be, it's up to me, right? They have
Mm-hmm.
this saying.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
and you're right. It's really the mindset. It's to really understand, that we have to continue learning. There's not, a limit to learning because what happened? I mean, and what is still happening in some areas, and even everywhere, is that, we think that learning is just when we go to school, and then when we have the degree, that's it. We don't have to learn. But now, with what's going on, is we don't have any choice. We have to continue, to improve, to go out of our comfort zone and get, to get this knowledge. And it's available. It's already available on the internet. It's just a matter of really focusing on the right thing, and having the right mindset, where we know, okay, we have to continue to learn. And that's very, very, very important. So, I mean, you've accomplished so much already, and I didn't realize the extent to where, your ventures have brought you globally. So one thing that I want to ask you, what is what is the legacy that you want to leave? Because if you're doing, some extraordinary thing, and so where does it stop, and what really still motivates you? Because at the end of the day, you've accomplished already so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mira, for the question. Actually, I wanted to share with you one more story that is really inspiring before I answer your question. Because this actually is in Singapore, and one of my reseller partners, he got the contract to actually train, retrenched people and retired people, because the Singapore government has a fund for, people to upskill themselves. So there was this person who's a retired person from the shipyard in Singapore who attended the class. And I have a channel that is new to the internet for people who have never touched computer, do not know how to use it, never type. And he used this channel to actually teach the people how to use the computer and internet. And after that, this person actually went on to do an online course on plumbing, simple plumbing, And then now he's servicing the condominiums where he's staying. He's their local plumber.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's just amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah.
And he's inspired two of his ex-colleagues. So there's 3 in the partnership now. They take shifts.
Wow, that's good, and that's what you want to see, and especially when you retire, you have the impression that, nobody needs you. You're not, you're not going to be able to go anywhere. And here you are, you have a new life, you're a plumber, and you're creating an impact in your community, and it gives you life again.
Yes,
so
yes.
That's really good. Yeah.
And it's said that people are going to live to like 100, right? All the more learning is becoming a must. You have to learn. Otherwise, your life is going to be too boring.
Yeah, exactly. Too boring, and then boring mean you die very early as well. So you need to get this excitement, because it's about excitement and this passion, so that you keep going and get the right energy to do something that is valuable for you first, and then for the community as well. So
Exactly.
that's fantastic. Great story.
Thank you. Yeah. We have a big vision, and we really want to make sure that learning is not a problem for anybody. Time and money is never a problem. We want to make sure that learning reaches out to everybody. So that's our end goal. And to enhance our portal, and with VR and AI and everything, learning will become more and more exciting.
And because that's the backbone for a lot of people. You need the learning to be able to function in the society. So if you don't have it, you basically are outcast in a way, and you completely put in a different category, and you're lost. And
Yes.
that's very important to notice. So that's really amazing. And like I said, I'm just so amazed about everything that you've been doing, from where you started, and now having all this venture that is really global, and helping people in every single community, irrespective of their ability, and then it's so diverse, and making sure that you leave nobody behind. and that's really key. So how do people, get in contact with you, and how do they, they access your platform if they want to know more?
Yeah, they can contact me via my email, which is Rani, RANI, at lttcom.com, or they can visit my website, which is www.lttcom.com. I repeat,
Okay.
yeah, www.lttcom.com, and they can find my contact details there, and I'll be happy to hear from them.
So for those who want to get in contact with Rani, so email, she just given the email, and also please go onto the website to see, the fantastic work that she is doing with her team and with her co-founder, who is her husband, and really start to get familiar with the platform and enjoy, because I don't know, is it still free, or how does it work now?
It's payable, but it's very nominal. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like US 25 cents a day per person.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's USD 90 for a year. But we will actually look at the different communities and we will support.
Okay, all right. So that's
yeah.
So have a look. I mean, like she said, they want to make sure that learning is accessible to everybody. So I think it's already quite accessible. So don't hesitate to really, connect with Yanni and Rani, and really, get to the platform, because they're now, doing courses in every single area. Because before, when I knew the I was, familiar with the platform. It was just a limited set of, courses, but now it has grown so much, and it's really impressive. So before we leave, any things that is coming up on your side, or any event, or anything that you want to share with the audience so far? People are gonna watch the replay, or anything.
Sure. Like, remember you were telling me earlier in the conversation where, like 10 years from now, the jobs are going to be different, and people, so what we have done is we have created a similar portal. Like the current portal is digitaledu.today. That's where you can do lifelong learning. So it's www.digitaledu.today.
Okay,
Yeah.
so www.digitaledu.today. So I'm gonna
Yes.
put it here so people can see it. All right,
Yes.
so
So this
that's
is
the
my
one.
lifelong learning portal for all ages. You have personal development, professional development, IT skills, IR 4.0, everything. And the wonderful thing is, if you were to go and learn it outside, when you come back, if you forget, that's it. But here, you learn, you forget, you relearn, and you become a master of whatever. And no teacher
Okay.
is going to laugh at you, because it's you and the computer, and you will become an excellent learner. Okay,
So yes, and that's lifelong learning. So you go on www.digitaledu.today, and you're set for life. So
yes,
don't hesitate, and like you said, it's affordable for everybody. So
yes.
that's good. So
And
I
my,
mean, all
yeah,
right. So
so
go
sorry. The
ahead.
other portal that I have to prepare children for the future is my
Mm-hmm.
STEM portal, because
Just.
like you said
Mhm,
also about doctors and lawyers and all, and they did a
mhm,
study in the UK for children
mhm,
between ages 6 and 16, and they
mhm,
all said that they wanted to be doctor, lawyer, businessman, fireman, and everything. Nobody talked about anything technology related.
mhm, mhm,
So
mhm,
what happened is, this portal covers science, technology, engineering, robotic, maths, and everything else to help them understand the future jobs. And we also have a specific STEM career channel there that
mhm.
talks about all future careers and what they should do right now to prepare themselves for even 10, 20 years in front.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
that is STEM
Because
career.
that's STEM career. So and I think that's the key here, because like we said, I mean, some of the job, they don't exist yet, but you need to prepare for those jobs. So
Yes.
that's the difficult part. But I mean, they are already, knowledge of the knowledge is already available. It's just you have to just, get it, and be flexible, because you're going to learn as you go. And then when the jobs are available, you're ready to work on them. So that's just fascinating. I mean, we are in a era which is just fascinating, where things are going really fast. And you don't really, you plan, but you can't really plan. And you have to be flexible. You plan, but you have to be flexible, because things are going to change, and you have to keep moving, you have to keep improving, because as soon as you stop, that's it, you're lost, you're left behind. And that's the beauty, I think, for me, that I see in all of this. So that's all that we have today with Rani, and I thank you so much for, for this amazing conversation, and for sharing your knowledge. And I'm just in admiration, on the work that you've been doing for years. And like I said when I was introducing you, you were actually a visionary, because it took time for your vision to be, for people to understand, this vision that you have, because now it's the norm. We have to be online, we have to learn online. And there's we're not going to get away with it. Even after COVID, I think it's going to be a big part of it's going to be a big part of the learning. So that's all. I'll be back on Friday, and on Friday we are going to India. I'm gonna have a lady. She's in the fashion industry, and I'm going to have two shows. Another show with a gentleman who is a humanitarian. So it's gonna be very interesting to know that. As far as all the information are concerned, there's the Female Wave of Change conference coming on the 26th. So for people interested, you can register on Eventbrite, and we're really looking forward to for you to join us, as the theme this year is reshaping the future. So join us. There's um, uh, Shaman Carter. Shaman Carter is doing a movie on her own life, on Black family lives. She's a survivor of the domestic violence and rape. So she's starting a documentary on that. And because of COVID, a lot of the sponsorship that she was supposed to have, she can't. So if you want to help her, you can look at the clip on our website. So that's at www.blackfamilylives.com. And if you want to give, and give some donation, then you can also, there's a link here, www.carter entertainment, we did it campaign 7971. So I've had she has been on my show, and she has an impressive story, and I don't even know how she survived all of this. But she is a strong woman, and please, if you can, please help, so that this documentary can go out and help, other victims of domestic violence and rape. Especially, this is something that happened in her own family, so you can see how difficult it was. So there's also the magazine. The magazine, we had the first issue on in July. The next issue is coming up on the 1st of October. So watch out, and I'll let you know when it's available for purchase. So that's all that we have for today. And I wanted to ask you, Rani, any last word that you want to leave us with?
Yes. Since you said that your magazine is coming up 1st October, I will create a special offer for all your readers and listeners for digitaledu.today and send it to you.
Oh, okay, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. It's been amazing to have you and to be able to have, to talk again about your work and about everything that you're doing and the impact that you're creating all over the world. So
Thank
thank you
you.
very much. Have a great evening, and thank you again for the offer, and looking forward to, to connect again
Yes,
so far. So
sure.
thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much. Really, thank you so much for the opportunity. You have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And for the audience, see you soon. And for people who are going to have, to watch the replay, please let us know. If you want to connect with Rani, just let me know, and I'll make sure it happens. So thank you very much, and have a great evening, a great end of the day for people in the US and people in Africa, in Europe. Take care and see you soon. Bye. Bye, Rani.
Bye.